Me opening the conversation on a first date.
I couldn't imagine somebody like Osama bin Laden understanding the joy of Hanukkah.
My friends, when I tell them the woman I'm dating who has an OnlyFans page seems like a keeper.
You idiot! You silly boy!
And this is me in the supermarket when I see people with large families desperately filling their trolleys with Christmas food, knowing that I'll be spending the day alone with a steak and a bottle of red wine. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. So we're going to talk about 80s fragrances, top 10 fragrances from the 1980s, the kind of fragrances I do tend to like. If you're one of my regular viewers, both of you, you'll probably know that already. Don't forget, folks, right now as I film this, we still have the amazing winter sale going at nortonandwilson.com. Incredible creations from perfumer John Stevens, such as Gravitas Essentia, currently available with an incredible discount of 30% off. Some amazing bundle deals too. Don't miss out, nortonandwilson.com. Okay, 80s fragrances. Let's talk about it. Let's get stuck into it. I've got 10 amazing ones. I'm not going to go for all the ones that should be included. I'm not including Cool Water because it's not the definitive list that is everything that was successful. It's my personal taste. That's more fun, I think. Okay, so no particular order. I don't really like to say, 0 to 10. Let's go with Caron Le Troisième Homme de Caron, a bit of an obscure one, not the obvious choice here. This was a 1985 release, amazing woody aromatic fragrance. Perfumer Akiko Kameri. Oh, fake. I can't read my handwriting. I'll put it on the screen. A Japanese lady done this one. Anyway, note listing for this. Lavender, Amalfi lemon, bergamot, anise, rosemary, coriander, carnation, geranium, jasmine, rose, oak moss, vetiver, vanilla, tonka, cedar, patchouli, musk. And I think other people say there's clove in it. Okay, this is a really remarkable green, deep, rich, woody combination of notes. Very gentlemanly, very kind of old school smelling, very reassuring, masculine type of aura about this. Warming, beautiful combination, complex list of herbs and different florals in there. Not that I pick up on those individual notes that easily. There's so many notes, A great blended fragrance doesn't necessarily stand out. You can smell loads of lavender or loads of this. It is really, really classy juice. Puts me in mind a little bit of things like Creed's Bois de Portugal. I'm not saying it smells just like that, but it's that kind of a mixture of green notes, lavender, woody accords, distinguished, gentlemanly stuff. You can pick it up for sort of under £70, 125ml in the UK. Not everyone else is going to be wearing that one. Caron Le Troisième. Really, really great one. Easy to overlook. Okay, next up, we're going to go for YSL Jazz, 1988 release. Again, woody aromatic characterization for this one. Jean-Francois Latty. He's completely batty. He made this one. He was the perfumer. And the note listing is lavender, nutmeg, coriander, artemisia, anise again, bergamot, basil, cinnamon, cardamom, geranium, other things, carnation, jasmine, iris, good grief, oak moss, tobacco, leather, sandalwood, cedar, musk, amber, and tonka. I won't read all the notes for all of them. This is really nice, charming, again, kind of gentlemanly fragrance. Has that kind of a little bit of that leather and a tobacco accord in there, quite a bit going on. You can definitely pick up on the lavender thing. It's a semi-barbershopish kind of vibe, quite bitter, quite masculine again, and quite old school. Really, really nice, well blended, and it has this kind of similarity to Ralph Lauren's Safari that came out in 1992, but this one was first, so let's give it the credit. Hard to find now. I've got a vintage formula. It's really distinguished and great stuff. If you can get the vintage formula with all the old ingredients, a little bit better. There was a reissue in a little cube box, a cube bottle, but I don't think that's in production anymore. What a pity. Great release from YSL. Really respect that one. Another one that I think is absolutely charming that I'm going to have to go and grab is Floris Elite, but I don't think I brought it over here. Bollocks. That was silly of me. I might leave that bit in. Okay, hello. Floris Elite. 1980 release. Floris Elite. And this, surprise, surprise, it's a woody aromatic. Seems to be the zeitgeist of the 80s. Bergamot, juniper, Virginia cedar, my favourite kind of cedar. Minnesota cedar, no thank you. Pettigrain, grapefruit, fir, lavender, bay leaf, oak moss leather, cedar, vetiver, patchouli, amber, and musk. I love the colour, 1980 release. It's got this incredible Listerine mouthwash colour. I don't think that's natural, but it sort of represents, it is this kind of green sharpness in this one. It does have that grapefruit with the bergamot. So there's a couple of quite sharp, zesty citrus notes. I really like that. So it's got a piercing, sharp quality. And then again, nice combination of some different herbs and spices in there. Really, really charming, masculine stuff. Bit of patchouli and vetiver in the base. So all these kind of woody, masculine accords just makes it something a little bit fresher than a couple of the others. Zesty, bright, sharp, with that reassuring depth and complexity. Really enjoy Floris Elite. A real go-to lately for me. That's what I'm trying to say. Those are three. We've got several more to come for you guys. Jules, 1980, one of the Titanic releases. The old bottle looked like this. They've reissued it in 2016. A bit hard to track down, but if you can, get yourself a bottle of this one. This is even harder to get. Okay, so this has that gnarly animalic thing in Koros, which will also feature in the video later, but it also has, again, a beautifully fresh citrus and woody and herbal opening. So it's got this kind of a fresh, zesty feel with a little bit of the, dare I say, pissy, urinal, underlying gnarliness of some of the animalic stuff that was popular in the 80s. Really, really nice. Sexy juice. Jules is a kind of French term for like a Casanova or something. And indeed, many men were getting lucky with Jules in the 80s. I really like it. Again, it's got that charismatic, charming, mature gentleman vibe when you wear it today. Okay, next up, we've got to go for the big bad titan of niche releases of the 1980s. It's Creed's Green Irish Tweed. I've got a vintage bottle. It now only comes in a black bottle. And this is remarkable, groundbreaking stuff. We now know it was perfumer Pierre Bourdon who made this one. There's a great book about the story of that and other Creed stuff, The Ghost Perfumer, by my friend Gabe Oppenheim. I was privileged to interview him on the show a couple of years back. Anyhow, Green Irish Tweed, wonderful lemon verbena, sandalwood, violet leaf and ambergris. It has this really charming smell of the Irish countryside. It is green, it has a grassy thing about it, and it has this dihydromercenol note that gives this very recognisable kind of fresh accord. It's like the rich man's version of Cool Water, which Pierre Bourdon also did for Davidoff in 1988. But I think this, it's got a higher quality ingredient listing, and it is really remarkable. So get yourself a bottle of Green Irish Tweed if you can. It's amazing. It's one of the few niche ones in this list. Next up, Armani Eau Pour Homme. Amazing citrus aromatic. If you like kind of Acqua di Parma Colonias, this is only designer price. Still around today. 1984 release. And it is just brilliant. I still love it in the modern formula. Beautiful, fresh, citrus aromatic with, again, a little bit of charming, rugged depth and complexity under that. So, again, it does have that old school 80s vibe, but one of the more fresh, citrusy ones in this list. And, yeah, similarities. It's a passing similarity to Acqua di Parma's Colonia from 1916. Love Armani Eau Pour Homme, and as you can see, I've used a lot of it. Next up, Antaeus. Chanel A Chypre fragrance, and this one again has that powerhouse reputation, but it's a refined powerhouse. If Koros is a very rugged, brutal powerhouse type fragrance, this, of course, in keeping with Chanel's air of classiness, it has a juniper berry opening, it's got myrtle, it's got some very delicate herbal notes, patchouli, oak moss, castoreum in there, so a little bit of an animalic funk, but I find that subtle in this one, and it's fresher than you might think. Really, really good all-round fragrance. You can actually wear this in warmer weather. It's not as sort of in your face as it used to be. Still smells great. Chanel don't really mess up their reformulation, so really, really classy grown-up juice from Chanel. Let's do the next obvious one then. Koros, 1981, as was Chanel. Still good today. If you can get the silver shoulder bottle like this, it's better. This is a powerhouse. It has everything but the kitchen sink. In the note listing, there's honey and some sweet notes in there, but there's a lot of musk and civet, so it really does have that animalic, some people say pissy. I don't think it smells of piss. I don't think that would be a good thing, but I kind of get what they mean. There's something a bit naughty and dirty. I think Luca Turin, the perfume critic, says it smells of other people's used bed sheets in a good way. Clean and dirty at the same time. Citruses, florals, very clever perfumery. It was Pierre Bourdon, again, the master himself. You've just got to try this. If you can only get the modern one, fine. If you get a vintage one, so powerful and masculine, and people say maybe you can't wear it anymore. Nonsense! Of course you can. 2 for YSL in this list. Just a few more to go for you guys then. Xerius from Givenchy has to be the next one. Seriously good stuff. Let's get raunchy with Givenchy. Xerius, again, this was Aromatic Fougère. I love the Art Deco bottle design. It's reissued in a bottle that I don't have to hand, and the Parfums Mythique reissue is still very good, so I really like that. There is a slight difference. This one was a soapy Aromatic Fougère with a twist of incense, so it's got that slight barbershop feel, soapy and clean, masculine, and the twist of incense just gives this semi, what would have been at the time a quite avant-garde modernist twist to the fragrance, and it's really, really, really charming and unique. So check out Xerius in its modern formula. If you're lucky, you might get the old one. Next up, it's got to be in the list. It sort of prefigured the new decade coming, where things would all change, so it doesn't fit in with the typical powerhouse, obvious kind of barbershop stroke woody aromatic style of all the other ones and being green and bitter. It's totally new stuff here, and this was Fahrenheit from 1980, I think, 8. And this is incredible. It has a kind of petroleum-like aura in keeping with the name Fahrenheit. It's hot, it's sultry, it's sexy, it has violet leaf, and somehow and there's, what is there, hawthorn? I don't know really what hawthorn smells. Unique kind of listing of notes that isn't like anything else you've ever heard of, and it has this kind of fiery petroleum leather jacket, kind of leathery petrol air, like a really sexy mechanic or something. Does that make sense? Remarkable. It's very hard to describe the smell. Try it. The modern formula sort of coming back to a little bit more like my vintage one there, so I don't think it's too much of a disgrace, the modern iteration. I think we're on to the last one of the 10. I had to stick this in because I'm so proud to own it. Patou Pour Homme. I've only got the aftershave. So hard to find. I paid like £250 for this aftershave. And this is an incredible, again, a wonderful aromatic fougere. And it's got a little bit of a note listing in French. Many of the notes I won't understand what they mean, but we have Bourbon vetiver, Virginia cedar, Mysore sandalwood. It does have this creamy woodiness about this one. We've also got Madagascar pepper and some other things. Oh, pimento pepper in there too. Very remarkable, very rich aromatic barbershop fougere. Things like a bit similar to things like Azaro Pour Homme. It's got the lavender, kind of a hint of a twist of licorice in there. Very rich, very masculine, and it was famously worn by the guy in Miami Vice, whose name temporarily escapes me. Let me know in the comments if you know that name, guys. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Patou Pour Homme. Don't stress if you can't get it. Don't spend £500 on a bottle, but if you do get lucky and stumble across one, you might want to try it. A lot of these others still available and made in great formulas today. Let me know what you thought of my list. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, or even if you didn't, maybe you could subscribe anyway. The next video may be better. It could hardly be any worse. I will leave it there. Remember, whatever you're doing in life, let's project, and although life may stink, at least we can always smell good. And don't forget the amazing 30% off sale at Norton and Wilson. It may not last too much longer. We've had great sales on that, and snap them up. These fragrances may never be available this affordably again. See you soon, guys. Bye-bye.